Oh, yeah. Just trying to pump it up a little bit here.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
I also think I'm ready. I have my bevies. I got my chapstick. We got the first comment. We got a question mark from LinkedIn. Like, what the heck is going on here? This is Nouns on the Air with Aubtoshi and Cheffo. We go live every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at an undetermined time. So make sure you are subscribed to us so you get that notification whenever we are live, or just be following us on all of our different accounts, such as LinkedIn. Hi, LinkedIn people watching. I believe that's just Aubtoshi. Twitch. Oh my gosh, that's another Aubtoshi account. YouTube is OTGWTF, and our Twitters are below us right now on the screen. So we're a little confused right now about the time, more particularly. I think we're hitting the end of America's Friday. I think the East Coast is already into tomorrow, the 1st of July. We are still just in the afternoon. Oh no, we're in the future.
You're just making it worse.
Yeah.
We're so confused.
We're in the future. We're putting this show on for the past, okay? We are live in Kyoto, Japan. We came here for IVS Crypto and a few other events that are happening for Japan Blockchain Week. So go Japan.
Nice.
We will be talking more primarily about IVS Crypto today. We have another event we're going to tomorrow when we sort of move out of Kyoto, go into Osaka for a couple of days. And then we will be spending a week in Tokyo where there's like a closing NFT Web3 event happening there. And there's a bunch of fun new friends that we've made in Japan who are Nounish and who do art. So we will be having the opportunity to hang out with them all week. And I'm really, really, really excited about Tokyo. I think it's going to be a little bit of a different vibe than Kyoto.
Yeah, a little bit.
A lot of it, probably.
About 40 times more people.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's going to be massive. We were like, is it like New York? It's like the New York of Japan. They're like, it's like 20 times larger than New York. So we are definitely really, really excited to be coming to Tokyo. GM. Oh my God, Ben.
What up?
Yay!
What up? All right.
Ben, oh my gosh, I have just been wanting to see you in these live streams for so long.
Good timing.
Such good timing. When we're in the US and doing these, I know that it's probably not the best timing for you, or it's like late at night or early morning. Again, completely thrown off by time and all of that and what that means. But we are so excited to have you here. We talked a lot yesterday about subcommunities in Nouns. That wasn't necessarily our plan. We did want to save the IVS crypto discussion for today, since yesterday was the last day of the event. And you know, yesterday was an amazing stream. We had a bunch of people in here, and we spent like the whole hour and a half talking about subcommunities. And I really, really want to clip that whole episode because there are some great ideas happening in there.
We were talking about ETH Waterloo. And,
Yes.
And that kind of led us into talking about all the subcommunities because the Noun Style Amigos did such a great job. You know, OTG was there. So, yeah, sometimes the conversations transition a little bit. And, like, that's cool.
Oh my God, it was amazing. People were commenting back and forth, like we had all these great ideas. We kind of also realized that OTG, from the live stream that we had, we brought you up actually, Ben, that people kind of said that they really liked that style of content. We really want to maybe start gearing OTG more towards that like reporter in the field, like news style. It's awesome to be sitting next to Cheffo during these today.
We'll have to get some down under.
Yes.
Correspondence.
Yes, well, you know, we're going to do so many live streams. I cannot wait till we are in Sydney in October. And then by being down there, we are going to go to New Zealand, hopefully, as well.
Well, and Melbourne.
And Melbourne. Of course, we couldn't come to that side of the world without going to Melbourne. So we want to be with you guys. It would be awesome to sort of start brainstorming what our live stream could look like or where we would do that and set up. But
don't get ahead of yourself.
I'm not going to get ahead of myself. But the subcommunity discussion yesterday was incredible. And I can't wait to talk to you about that at a later time. But I do want to kind of go over IVS Crypto because that was like one of the main events that we came here in Kyoto to see. So it is a beautiful rainy day. It has been very rainy here the entire time we've been here.
It's quite humid in Kyoto.
It is so humid.
I don't know if that's like the rest of Japan, but like, wow, it is very humid here.
Well, I did see the Swami. Well, speaking of the Swami, I just got to pull up these Nogs, these big Noggles.
Do these
since
things
Ben's
have
here.
a name? They must have a name, like
I think if they had a name, it'd just be
Like-
the biggest Nogs.
like Big Nog.
Yeah, big concept versus
Like-
IRL. This is the Swami. Ben has actually been working a lot with Aubtoshi and the Swami to install these Noggles. It is so cool.
I love that they had the docking, as they call, where they put the two together. I'm still curious. Ben will have to tell us, like, are they like screwed together and connected, or do they kind of just sit like that? But
Well, and this photo in general, like seeing the concept versus the IRL, like, and them being
well, this
the
is when
same
yeah.
is so cool.
Well, that's when video. I mean, for me, like, I'm sorry if I stare off. I'm like watching a video melt my computer here as it exports. But video is a lot to do, but it really does tell these incredible stories. So, yeah,
Well, I did see that while they were installing these Noggles. Ben says that they're just there together because they're so heavy that they don't move. Oh, that makes so much sense. It's not like one's gonna blow away.
probably not.
Wow. Well, I saw this, like the photos going down of the installation of this thing. Sorry, let me get this back on the screen.
I love this where they did concept versus how
Yes,
it actually turned out.
and
That
when
was-
do you see something like this where it's like identical? Like you guys did such a good job with
I
the
haven't
planning of this.
when we did the shot in Marfa, Texas, like when you had
Yes, at the Promise Store.
you had your Beyonce moment.
Yes,
And
concept versus IRL.
yeah, you looked like a skinny Beyonce just doing that, and it really worked great.
Well, the coolest thing about this was the effort that it took to actually install these things. I did see that it was raining there during installation. We have been feeling that vibe here in Kyoto as well. It must have just been raining all over Japan, except when we went out to dinner the other night, there was like the news on while we were eating sushi, and it looked like there's some parts of Japan that were actually in a heat wave. Super sunny. I'm feeling that. It is like this like moist heat wave where we are, like it's pouring rain, but you go outside and it's freaking hot. So
I mean, the other day when we did the Nouns Running Club run, that was some of the craziest humidity. And like, I'm from the South in America, and like it gets very humid. It actually felt almost identical to like trying to do sports or something in the summertime. It was a lot, but it was weird. Like this instinct kicked in.
I feel like the U.S. humidity, like I almost like can't do it. Like you feel like you can't breathe. Here it feels nice. It's like being in a sauna. I kind of liked it.
Good.
I don't mind it at all. It's been great. I wonder if Osaka's going to be the same. I don't know how Tokyo is right now.
Hey, as long as the sushi's good, we're good.
Dude, congrats on the Noggles. What a great moment. I really wish we could have made it up there to the northern part of Japan to see these things being installed. I think it would have taken us like a whole nother plane ride to get up there, which we unfortunately weren't able to
I think
figure
if we
out.
didn't have like all the camera luggage and all that, it would have been a little bit different. But trying to put I have this like envision where like we would be like trying to get on one of these trains, and then we'd
Oh my
load
God.
like 2 suitcases, and
And
then
it just
it would
starts
leave.
leaving. Yeah, I was gonna say that. We did one time when we had less suitcases, take a train from Berlin down to where Oktoberfest was in Germany in Munich, and like we took up the whole cart. Like we had to get a bigger cart. There was like an
I remember
older
that.
lady in there with us. She was pissed. Our whole cabin was just like filled with suitcases.
She was so posh, and she was so,
So
mad.
posh.
She was so mad about it.
But we couldn't necessarily take a train, and then we weren't here at this unit long enough to kind of leave our stuff here and go. But dang, I kind of wish we were. But I did see that some community members had actually seen the posts from the Swami and had lent a helping hand in installing those. So
cool.
huge congratulations to you guys. I just love seeing things go from like the concept to actually happening, and just it's incredible to see. Did you also see that right now it's like kind of sitting where the amusement park is, but once it's winter again, they're gonna like take it up to the ski resort?
I thought something like that was like going to happen.
I'm curious, like is it gonna be at the bottom? Like, are you guys gonna like lug that thing up to the top? Like, I have no idea what
I
it's
think
gonna
it's
look like.
part of a terrain park. Do you know what those are?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I think
Oh, Ben, you can help us solve this. So I'm thinking it's decor. Cheffo thinks people are going to be snowboarding like on top of it or
Yeah,
through
dude,
it or
rip it.
something. Please help us settle this right now. Like, are people going to be like hitting this with their snowboards? Are they going to be popping through, or is it just there as decoration? We got to know.
It's going to get ripped.
Hero from P-Nouns crew. Shout out for Hero from P-Nouns was there helping. That's amazing. we have been meeting some of the P-Nouns crew here. That's actually here. I'll pull up this next photo. The running club. Let me see where this thing is. I had prepared all of these photos for you guys. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
You're just clicking through your computer live. That's bold.
Oh yeah. This was a P-Nouns run. It's actually really crazy. You would think that these are paper Noggles from Big Shot Clem. These are P-Nouns paper Noggles.
I'm gonna go get mine.
You should go do that.
I'll be right back.
They are their own version of the paper Noggles, P-Nouns. Also, was it P-Nouns with the other glasses? Or was that the different nouns? They also have their own version of like these Noggles, and they are amazing. Like I loved them. They're like very thick, like lens kind of things. Let me see. Ooh, let's pull you back up here, the main screen. P-Nouns, paper Noggles.
I absolutely squished these by accident, putting them in my bag the other day. But okay, so we'll do a Noggle review because I actually really like these.
They're a little squished, I will say.
Okay, so they did this really interesting thing where they made like this extra folded piece for the nose.
Let's show the camera.
Which is really neat. This thing right here.
So that's the inside.
And I think they're larger. They're more like
they do.
They're more
larger.
like Big Shot's size big ones, which I thought was also like a really interesting design choice. And then not gonna lie, like oh wow, I didn't even notice that. They have size adjusters on the earpiece.
For your ears.
The earpiece themselves is like epic. They like really sit on. Like I mean,
can you fit them through like your
I'll do this real quick. Yeah, I mean they're really amazing and
P-Nouns paper Noggles.
Like, dude, you could jump out of an airplane
got
with
your
these.
little nose thing is there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that makes sense because the nose thing actually helps keep them on.
But it goes behind your ears like nobody's business. It's so like they're really on there. Like,
and I'm seeing the side. There's a logo here. It says Tokyo P-Nouns Noggles Jack with P-Nouns.wtf. So these are straight up the P-Nouns paper Noggles. That's what you're seeing here.
I am confused about the Jack part. I don't know. Like, I know that was.
I think
in
Noggles
like
Jack is like
one of their props or something.
I think that's
Is that like a term?
I think it's like their design thing. I'll have to look that up. I'll see on Twitter. But these are freaking cool. Let me just tell you.
There's like some like serious thought.
The
like,
holes are actually big, so you can like see through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can very clearly see through them.
Yeah.
And people giving them out were just so amazing. We're going to be seeing these guys, P-Nouns, in Tokyo when we're there. We will have a lot more interactions and updates with them there. But this was the whole fun runners club. They ran every single day of IVS Crypto. They met in the morning around 8:30. It was a 4K run, so it lasted about 30 minutes.
We missed the first.
Run.
We missed the first runs, and maybe I knew they were happening or something. But like once we met the crew in person at the event, there was like less of an opportunity to back out and not look like a wuss. So like stepped up. Cheffo did the run. It was great. It was on this beautiful river. It translates to Duck River that essentially runs through the middle of Kyoto. And it was just really beautiful. I noticed that the river had like, it was almost, I don't know if the whole thing was man-made, but like there were these massive like flat stones kind of like laid on the base of the river, and it was stunning. And it was this very gradual slope to the river, and it had these like small little like, I don't know what it is, like kind of like a waterfall thing, but it was awesome. There was definitely ducks everywhere. There was cranes.
Yeah, I had my like photography camera, and then we had the film camera that Cheffo usually is the one running around with. But Cheffo did the run with everybody. I don't run. I can't. I have the ability to run.
I'm not going to let you talk yourself out of that.
But I was not. I didn't want to like be the last person, which was 100% what would have happened if I had joined.
You never know. You know, when that adrenaline kicks in, shit gets crazy.
I was a director, photographer, videographer that day. So I was like running around, like getting everybody like right as they were taking off. I waited for them right under this like bridge, Duck River, for them to come back.
There was a young lady who ran in her dress.
I know, I saw that.
She was wearing a dress.
It was awesome. Hats off to you guys for running. Everyone did amazing. Cheffo, of course, what a show off. Was leading the pack. He was so far ahead. He would circle back to kind of like get back with everybody. I had actually like sat down in this little area to gather or to get everybody on film right as they were coming in. And I saw this one person running, and then I saw a big group, and I was like, oh, okay, so the group is coming. So I was gonna like, start filming to like get the group, and I just saw the one guy. I'm like, maybe I'll let this guy pass. But I thank goodness I started filming because like as it comes into view, I'm like, oh my god, that's Cheffo, and he was the first person to come in. The whole group comes. I didn't know this, but a 4K, like if everyone's running correctly, it's about 25 to 30 minutes. So I kind of just hung out there under this little bridge in Duck River, and there was this beautiful crane there. I did post that on my Twitter, so I was able to like get awesome photos of these cranes. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I've been really trying to practice my photography, and birds are like kind of the best thing to do that with because they are always in movement and like trying to like pull that focus on them while they're doing it. It's amazing.
You're learning how the shutter speed and the f-stop and everything
it's
goes
amazing.
together.
But it's so funny. Like as soon as I saw Cheffo running, I was like, I got the crane. I got my crane shot. And it was like mid-flight, and it was like in focus, and I was just so freaking excited about that too. Okay, Ben says it's currently at the top of the theme park inside the resort, and then it will be brought into the middle of the resort for winter. Okay. We couldn't get approval for this to be a terrain park feature. I knew it. I knew people weren't going to be doing that just yet.
But they tried.
Yes, but remember, like,
but I think it was like an insurance issue.
I also think the prop was more like, and then Ben says for other cool options like Noggles rails and stuff. Peanuts have their own amazing quality, thick glasses as well as the paper ones. Yes,
yeah,
that's the ones we tried them on.
Yes, for sure.
Yellow, like this cool yellow, this
They're
red.
They have like a slight curve to it, like a natural curve.
They're like glossy.
They're really cool. If I'm gonna be, I'll do the honest Noggle review. Like I like them. I think there needs to be a V2. I don't know. The nose felt a little weird. To be honest, like I don't think that the perfect Noggle has been made yet by anybody, including Salvino. Like I think that honestly, like we're gonna continue to see Noggles come out.
Oh yeah,
I'm super excited about that. But I think everybody's like learning from each other, that kind of thing. But if you're not trying, you're not trying. So
the thick P-Nouns ones were cool because they didn't do this thing on these Noggles where it's like the half white or this mirror thing in the black. It was just a pure sunglasses.
They also had almost like a even.
Oh, I actually have a photo of those.
Like a better polish on the plastic.
Wait a minute. Here they are.
So highly polished.
Here they are. Let me just do a little zoomy zoom on this. These are the P-Nouns Noggles. Okay.
The colors are great, and they almost have like a little translucency.
It looks so excited here.
Stoked, dude.
Those are the yellow ones, and then these are the red ones that I'm wearing. And then of course we had to do. This is our friend who was Shuto was doing the Runners Club, so he's there with the Motivate Me blue ones. We did a Noggle swap. We didn't get to keep the awesome P-Nouns ones though.
He's so nice. He's like
and Masa.
He's a really good leader.
We love Masa. Love that hat. He like made it himself. Masa.
I thought that was a NARS hat.
No, he got the hat and made it himself, but Masa is in NARS. So Masa is very active in NARS. He's actually in Hong Kong. He says there's about 2 of them in Hong Kong who are into nouns, and so they have a lot of work to do. But Masa has actually been incredible and has been connecting me personally with a ton of different, I'm going to actually pull them up here, people who are in Tokyo. I'm going to show you guys this art, and you're totally going to recognize it. Let me get these photos out of the way. Oh, yeah, dude, look at this.
What you got, Aubtoshi?
This guy. You guys have seen this art before. Tell me. Kieran. He did all of the art for Nouns Out Japan, which is those awesome guys in the kimonos and stuff. This is his incredible artwork. He's there in Tokyo. We've already kind of like joked around because he doesn't speak any English at all. I'm like, that's totally fine. Like we can make this happen.
Like what program that was made in?
Dude, it's incredible. They have all these little nouns running around down here. They're on the machine.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to meet this person. Another friend that we met that was newer was, here's the running club. I'm just going to start exiting out of these. I'll say. Oh, here we go. Our new friend Hisashi. Who, if you guys didn't know, that Nouns Fest prop that just went up. I have to get the number for you guys. The Nouns Fest prop. This is him. He was so nice. He was so freaking excited. He didn't speak any English, so we communicated right there next to the Web3 stage at IVS Crypto, just in Google Translate, which, by the way, just blows my mind, you guys. It is the best app ever. Like
Google Lens is pretty great too.
Google Lens is amazing for just scanning stuff with your phone, and it just translates it right there in the app. It's amazing. But we were able to sit there. We were kind of like laughing back and forth, translating. And one of my favorite moments is while we were talking, he had asked me, he's like, why do you promote glasses? And I said, well, because Noggles are the easiest way to kind of start the deeper conversations about DAOs, NFTs, Ethereum, blockchain. You can't necessarily all the time lead with that.
What if what if the Noggles wasn't like the thing of nouns? Like what if it was like shoes or like I'm not like
It'd be a whole different scenario. I think
exactly. We'd be out here like carrying around shoes.
Yeah, or like
or
doing weird shoe poses.
If it was like some top hat. And everyone's at an event wearing like a fucking top hat.
Dude, it's so clear that the Noggles like being sunglasses like are the big connector to everything. People love them. Like, let me get you some other photos just while we're all here hanging out. Oh, there's all the chat that I'm trying to see.
It is
Oh my God, these
amazing.
are our new friends. Okay, my new friends. We were standing there talking to Masa, and he was like, "I have to go inside. I haven't seen anything yet." And then these girls were just like sitting there, like kind of staring at us and waiting. And so we were like, "Hi," and they're like, "Oh, there's Noggles," and we're like, "Yes, they're Noggles. They're both." One of them has like 60,000 followers on YouTube, subscribers. The other one has 6,000 subscribers. They do gaming, but they talk about Web3 and they actually do Web3 live streaming. Again, go to my Twitter and find this post so you guys can follow them. They are so cute and amazing. She even, I think, titled this post cute. But the one on the left who has the stickers all over her shirt, she was amazing. She actually, while she was asking if these were Noggles, like pulled up a picture of herself last year wearing Big Shot Klim's big plastic Noggles. So it's crazy. As much as like,
where did she get this? Did we ask?
Who knows? We were kind of communicating through each other or through this like tutorial or translate app as well. But it's just crazy how we are still discovering how those Noggles have spread even from last year. And we just have no idea. So that was a crazy, cool thing to happen. Symbiotech, what is good?
What's
GM, hi. And Wiley, hi. Wiley, I totally agree. Need a construction orange pair. Construction Noggles. Ooh, they almost should have like the side thing. You know that construction glasses have, like where's the side piece where it's like full
safety glasses.
Yeah, I love that.
Do you
Construction
need a pair of
Noggles.
safety glasses?
I don't necessarily need them right now, but I would wear them if they existed. I would totally rock that.
We've had some cool ideas. Maybe we'll keep them under our sleeve for a
That's
little
not very
while.
CC0 of you, Cheffo. I'm just kidding.
It can be CC0 after.
Yes.
I learned about CC0 the hard way this morning, Aubtoshi.
Oh no, this is sad.
I was not sad, but like,
Well,
I was just like,
seeing how
son of a bitch.
Seeing what you put in the effort last night, and then this morning, like you woke up a little earlier than me, and then you're like, kind of were sad from what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't.
So walk people through it. So
I
last
haven't
night
done a lot.
we were eating food. I was
round.
trying to wind down.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you come over here so we can like watch another episode of Black Mirror, please, and eat food? And he's like, I'm doing something. And what he was doing is he was on the Noundry, making a new Nouns head. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I understand. And I came over to the side of the computer and I saw that it was this paper bag head. And it looked so cool. I loved it. And we kind of like were messing around. I'm like, should it be tweaked? And like we kind of flipped it a little bit. I'm like, should the handles be smaller? So we were like working on it. So going to sleep, I knew that he had it. He's like, I'm going to post this. And
I mean, I thought it was
morning.
like as final as I had been able to get it at that point.
It was great. I loved it. And I also was like, oh my God, this could be the next like ugly noun head, like a paper bag head. But I will let you tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great bag. Like I did
you
a couple
posted
things.
it to Noundry.
I posted it in the Nouniversary Discord and like the Noundry channel, and
yes,
went to bed and like didn't think anything of it. And it's always like, you're anticipating like what type of reaction you're gonna get, that kind of thing.
Yeah, putting your art out there is hard in that Noundry channel.
Well, it's not, but like
it can be. I can't put something out. I'd be like,
well, so I put it out there, and then Tempers was like, he was like, this is good, but it's too 3D, and Nouns needs to like is going in more of a flat direction, and maybe he's right, maybe he's not right. I don't know. Like
It is right.
I'll have to like look back and see how many like three-dimensional nouns there are. You know, you definitely see like in certain subcommunities and stuff, people get a little crazy with the art and all this, and like
Mm-hmm.
even when I did the food nouns heads, like you know, some are more three-dimensional than others, and I guess you know, yes, like consistency is a good thing sometimes, and so like so then Tempers wrote that, and like and then Krell came out of nowhere and did like a second version. He was like, "Here's a riff on Cheffo's," and it's really well done. Like, but it's flat.
Uh-huh.
Like he kind of just took some of the three dimensionality and like turned it sideways and flattened it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a good head. Like I don't know which one I like better, to be completely honest, but you know, he got like 5 or 6 likes on it. People were like, "Oh, this is dope," you know. And I was like, "Fuck, dude!" Like, I was like, he's gonna, you know, if this thing goes in, and he's gonna like win the prize now for it or whatever. And
well, we don't know if there is a prize, but Cheffo was telling me this morning, and I was like, CC0.
Yeah, your first reaction was not like, "Oh," it was oh, it was CC0, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude!" Like,
Everyone's felt that. Everyone's felt that.
Yeah,
and that's why it can be hard to kind of throw your art out there, I think, in a CC0 environment. But it's also really fun and it is collaborative. But I will say that after, like, he gave you that, you know, they're not really three-dimensional, and they do have 2-dimensional bodies. So that does kind of make sense. But I did kind of like think about you as a pixel artist. You did make about 25 to 26 different food nouns heads.
31.
Oh, I'm sorry. 31 food nouns heads. But if you go in and see the Cheffo food nouns heads, they have dithering. There's shading.
Not all of them.
Yeah,
like,
but they
like
do have a 3D element.
There's like
the pear.
but
the,
like
the spam musubi is popping out, you know?
Yes, the spam musubi is 3-dimensional, but like the s'more is flat.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and so it just
but it
is
almost
what it
is like the 3D little head kind of fits on 2 little feet, because all the food nouns have their little stick legs, and it kind of like works being either 3-dimensional or more 2D and stuff too.
I don't mind having a variation, but I see it. I see the point.
Ben says the art you submit isn't CC0 by default. It's okay.
And
last time the original creator was
not.
He said it's not.
It's not.
He says, and last time the original creator was credited no matter how many riffs were on it. Okay.
Well, either way,
we could do this. We could do
either
this.
way, it was a lot of fun, and Krell did a great job with that. And
I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah, definitely. I'll show you later. But
Paper bag head.
The Noundry is
pretty
literally going off right now. I mean, it is not stopped since it was open.
I would love if you guys have been making noun sets. I have not been checking that channel. I would love to know if you specifically have made some.
Ooh, look, my render's finishing.
Ooh.
One thing that I think is
I also want to say GM Prof.
GM.
A very late GM to you.
Good for her.
Awesome to have you here. We won't do any air horns. I know you're probably watching this while getting ready for bed or something.
I can't remember exactly how they did it last time, where like at the end of it, they like kind of consolidated all the heads from the chat, and then because they're just kind of like,
I remember there was like a site you went to,
right,
and you can go through all of them.
But I'm saying crazy. Like, I can't remember if they broke it down by like who submitted it or whatnot. I think it would be interesting to have categories, perhaps, like here's animals, here's household items, here's food items, here's whatever. I mean, maybe that's complicated, but
Prof, I completely agree. Brett Pinpusher has been killing it.
He's been going crazy.
Oh my gosh, he's been taking like all of my childhood favorite cartoon characters and making them nounish. It is so fun to watch.
Yeah, he's a super talented artist. He's really creative. He's got like a good sense of humor.
He's been doing like the bodies with them too. He's like just doing his whole own thing. I'm like, these could just be their own collection, to be honest. Like they're so freaking cool. He already had such a unique art style before nouns, and I'm loving that he's like applying the nouns to it too. But yeah, exactly. Like you can have like a section for like characters or like I also love, by the way, that you did a paper bag, because you hold your groceries and your food items in paper bags.
I've made up my like that I'm going to try and only do like food oriented items, so that, you know, I don't know, just people might just say, oh, Cheffo does food stuff. So
yeah, that is what we think of when we think of Cheffo.
You know, if in the Food Nouns Discord, in one of our archive channels, there's like almost 200 heads that the
Food Noundry.
that the community has suggested. So I might have to dig deep into that list and just go from there. But
I also wonder like what the protocol would be, because like we saw it with Nouns Down Amigos, Nouns Down Japan, like a lot of these other Brazil, these other sub communities have their own unique heads in their auctions. I wonder if you're able to kind of submit those as well. We'll see.
I've been actually wondering that same thing, because I think that we have some cool ones that I haven't seen quite yet, and I'm sure that's the case with other parts of the community. But I also like just haven't done that, because I think that maybe that would be like a little bit of like a faux pas or something like this. But
Yeah, because they like already exist.
yeah, it's just kind of a cop out, and so I'm personally not doing that. I'm trying to make new
I
ones.
don't know how you guys are doing it. I am so impressed by everyone making these heads. I walk around all day and kind of just like look at random things. I'm like, is that a noun head already? Like most things I think of, I'm like, oh, this would be a cool one. I'm like, oh, that's
It would be
that
good
already
to have like
exists.
the running, like a running collection, like from now up until the point, so that people could like not be redundant, because if not, then you literally have to like scroll all the way back up the Discord channel and like either make a list yourself or like
Of all the ones that have already been like proposed, every single time I think about the Noundry, I don't know why, but my favorite head that I think about is the watering can. I loved that head. So Ben's saying that 99 made a script to put all of the art from the channel into a web app to sort and see them all to star faves. Ooh, I love that.
Where does 99
then they manually
get
connected
his talent from? We need to know more about this guy. Like he's so talented.
Oh my god, he's so smart.
We were one day away from getting to meet him.
Dang. I know I don't really want to like talk about people and doxing them too, but we were one day.
No, I don't know anything about the guy.
Meeting a 99. And I will never forgive myself for that. So but
you can forgive yourself.
It was a flight thing. Like if we didn't fly in when we flew into Japan on the Monday, it would have taken an entire week for us to get here, which is so weird. For some reason, like the connecting flights, like very believable from our flight. It was completely packed, but I know. Oh my gosh! By the way, shout out to anyone that's having
about flights right now.
I know. I was just gonna say
screwed.
To anyone that is having problems right now with the issues of all airlines happening in the U.S. apparently right now. I'm assuming it's not just weather. I'm assuming it's a holiday weekend.
Who knows?
It sounds like there's some issues, logistical issues on behalf of all of the airlines happening right now. It's so sad. That's like my whole TikTok feed right now is people being like, I've been sleeping in the airport for 3 days. Can someone get me home?
We did, get ourselves to Japan successfully without issue, and we were able to attend the conference. And let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yes, and now that you guys are all here, we would love to talk about IBS crypto.
Today, our unofficial water sponsor, different than yesterday.
Yeah.
Suntory.
There was an Asahi water yesterday. This is Suntory. And then
this is not an ad, Aubtoshi, but it certainly could be.
I have a 7-Eleven cafe latte because 7-Eleven in Japan slaps and is the best place ever. I go there 2 to 3 times a day.
1-star meal? You go to 7-Eleven, baby. You can get smoked salmon. You can. I mean, honestly,
1 star.
They have better. Like 1 star is a good thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like on a scale of 1 to 10.
No, like 1 out of 3, like the Michelin thing.
I'm sorry.
A lot of people don't have any stars.
It's amazing.
Do you have a star?
I think he's trying to say, and what I'm definitely preaching. There's like pre-made soft serve ice creams. Like I don't even know what to say. There's these little waffle things. We don't have one more of those, do we?
No, I ate them.
Oh my god, I wish I could show you guys those. There's little waffles.
Because see, when you go on a run, when you do exercise, then you get to eat whatever you want for like 4 days after. And that's how it works.
Oh, yes, the rice triangle things. Yes, we did that yesterday.
I had one for breakfast.
He said the unwrapping experience is cool. He was like, what is happening? We were in the 7-Eleven trying to do it. He's like, oh, the seaweed is separate so that it doesn't get all soggy. We have been having just a really good time at 7-Eleven. The way you pay is so fun. Everything is so high tech, which is such a great segue for what we're about to talk about with IBS crypto, by the way, because we have been traveling around to a lot of different events in a lot of different places. Japan itself is very high tech. There's little machines and little robot things and
this place
everywhere.
That we're staying is like the people had to come in and give me a tour, and like Dude, it's crazy. Like,
It's amazing.
it's crazy. All these lights have sensors on them. Like,
The
I mean,
bathroom, you walk in, the light turns on, the toilet goes up and like does this little thing, and, like sprays the thing, like, and gets it all ready for you. It's like this is such a place where, we're in, I think, one of the oldest cities of Japan. It's
yeah.
thousands of years old. We had
I
no
don't know if it's.
real concept of that
I don't
before
know if
coming
it's
here.
thousand.
Yes.
I guess maybe Kyoto is.
Well, even being
Like
2,000 years old, it's thousands of years old.
I know that some of the temples are like from 700.
Well, and then some of them do predate to, like, I guess if you call it like BC or before.
We're not
Christ
historians, Aubtoshi.
We're not, but we have been learning a lot, and we have been checking out these ancient temples that are here. But there's this crazy dichotomy between this ancientness of Kyoto and this high tech that's happening here in
We
these
went
little
to
houses.
the most incredible photos, and like not even a photo store. Like it was like
It was an
it was
everything store.
like Walmart meets the future. It was like it was
so
crazy, and we had just recently gone to B&H Photo in New York, and that was like mind blowing. Life dream, amazing, best photo store in America.
Well, and we actually found this place by accident because
Yeah.
once we set up all of our
We
podcast
needed
stuff,
we needed
realized
a
we realized like, so all the outlets are actually the same here.
Yeah.
The two prong is same as the US, and so that's been amazing. But we have like our big charger thing with the three prongs, and so we needed just a simple converter from two prong to three prong. I googled
3-prong to 2-prong.
Yes, sorry. I googled electronic stores. There was a ton, and so I just like randomly picked this one. It was next to the Kyoto Tower, so they have their own little Space Needle Tower thing here as well. And that's how we accidentally found this amazing like Walmart of the future.
I think it was next to it was like honestly the only real American restaurant I've seen so far. It was like
It was a
British pub.
fish and chips.
Yeah, it was British fish and chips, full on, looked like a British pub right out of London, just right in the middle of Kyoto. And then like 2 doors down, it was just like you kind of went in and you were like already not underground, but it wasn't like this big standalone box store or whatever that we're used to. But it just kept going. Like you went in and you passed 1,000 electric bicycles. And then over here there were like TVs and then vacuums and cameras, watches, like anything that had like a battery or tech or any, it was unbelievable. And it was like very high end stuff, like with like a huge selection. And the camera area was mind blowing. Like every brand of camera, every length of lens, like every adapter, every filter, every camera body, like the staff knew all of it. Like it was truly unbelievable. Like,
well, and we're really just trying to like set the scene of, this tech situation that's even happening in one of the older cities of Japan. Of course, we have not reached Tokyo yet. We've heard a lot about it. We've seen a lot of videos, and people have been telling us about it. It's way more, I feel like, in the future than Kyoto kind of is, because there's still like these like older streets here and stuff too. But we're just like trying to like get you guys to understand the potential of what's already kind of happening, because we didn't really understand the crypto scene here and what that might look like going into IVS crypto. So just as a small other background, IVS is this massive, they call it the largest conference in all of Asia for startups, tech, entrepreneurship. And it happens every single year. They've held this award for it being the largest event since 2007, I believe. And then this was the very first year that they also simultaneously did IVS crypto. And so that's why we put it on our events calendar this year. But again, not really understanding or expecting to understand or know ahead of time what the crypto community was like here, because most of our Japanese connections are in Tokyo, which is like a couple hours away. So we go to this event, we check in. When we arrive, there's a line. By the time we leave, the line is like around the corner. There were thousands and thousands of people here.
It wrapped around the block.
Yes, thousands of people. You can have these variant different passes.
And the tickets weren't cheap. Like even the basic ticket was, I think, $400 a person.
Yep, you could have the basic ticket. You could have the pro ticket, which got you like private meetings with people, and you got to see this whole other floor, which we never got access to. But we basically had 2 major floors once we entered the thing. And the coolest part about it, I do have to say, as we go to events, and especially in the US, we do have a lot of camera equipment. We basically look like we're press. And so if we don't have press passes, most times I do have to apply for those to get those. Like we'll be told that we can't take the stuff in. We brought our cameras here and they totally let us come in on
Oh,
just
yeah,
like
dude.
standard tickets. So that was awesome. And I think that I always like commend events that do that because it's so smart. Like wouldn't you want people to be creating content about your event?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. I forget which one it was where it was like a hard no.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a hard no. No, you're not doing this filming,
Mm-hmm.
not happening. I think, I think it was,
I think that was VCon.
no, I think it was South by.
I don't think we got to film at VCon like that.
I don't quite remember, but it was a hard no. As far as like in the conference.
Did we bring the camera into VCon? I don't think we did. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to think about that.
100%. I filmed at VCon.
It was another stadium style event. We'll try to remember that too. But again, them letting us bring that in was incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome. They have great appreciation for camera equipment.
They were so organized, tons of volunteers. Everyone's super nice, of course. Everyone's just very polite and kind. And some people have like English, they speak English or have basic English, or if they notice that you might speak English, like we look pretty much like Westerners, they'll grab the nearest person that can. Everyone was so great. No hiccups getting through the check-in process. And then the second you enter past the big like wallpaper about IBS crypto, you go into this area and it literally looks like a dark little lit up like Japanese food area.
It was very dark.
Yeah. So the first entire floor, I'm not even kidding you. There was a couple stages there, but it was all food vendors. But it was like
Yeah, it was
a
crazy.
nighttime evening. Like I felt like I was at Disneyland kind of. Like they had every light dimmed down and then Chinese lanterns everywhere. And then these little like places where you can go get food. You can kind of chill and vibe.
They had a lot of bars.
They had a lot of bars.
The Japanese like to drink at the bar, for
Yes.
sure. They definitely had a lot of bars.
It was a vibe though.
Yeah.
I did like the first floor area. It was really cool. And then once you get through there, you can either go visit the gallery area, which unfortunately you had to have the pro pass, which was like 3 times as much as our pass to get down there. So we didn't see the gallery area, which is probably, I'm assuming, where there would have been a little bit more NFT stuff. But there was then this third floor, which was the exhibition floor. So they had a Web3 stage, they had a crypto stage, they had these other things, they had a ton of vendors, a little bit more bars, and then gaming stuff. But to preface why we were prefacing sort of like this tech geared side of everything here, when you go up to that third floor and the exhibition hall, as much as there's a Web3 stage or a crypto stage, that and especially everyone who's actually sitting with us right now in the live, we take for granted, I think, like all of the things that we know about crypto, how early we really are, how much knowledge we have about the Ethereum blockchain, about Nouns DAO and how those contracts are even working with each other. Like Ben, you're so smart and you're always doing programming things. Like Prof, you're always holding these builder boxes and like connecting communities through Builder, getting people to like build their own DAOs. Like this was not quite where anything was in Kyoto just yet. Like the vendors you were seeing were like,
it was products being marketed. So
yes.
it was
very much like a marketing. And then like when we talked to Masa about that later, he said, yes. Well, and then like the people that threw IBS are like a marketing company essentially. And so it looked like a lot of hype and a lot of things, but they weren't. And then like one of the bars was called like Crypto Bar P2P, but you weren't paying in crypto. There was nothing crypto about it. It was just a bar. So it was almost like a lot of these crypto names and things and like these words, these like hot words were being used, but it wasn't necessarily the crypto that we know, which shows us that there is a lot more that can happen in Japan.
For example,
Kyoto,
like the only
specifically.
the only blockchain that I saw being marketed was Avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
And you also saw quite a bit of like cloud hosting solutions.
Yeah, Google Cloud was there.
There was an interesting security solution, and it was some type of like multi-person custody product where like multiple people could custody a wallet, kind of like a safe. That was
There was
interesting.
one booth that said DAO on it, but
Yeah.
there was like, it was like a travel agency. I'm not quite sure. Not not the type of DAO that we know. Um, you know, this is going to be a little bit different in Tokyo. Like, we're going to go meet one of our friends that we met through Nouns Japan, who is part of like one of the first NFT galleries. They very much kind of know about NFTs over there. When we had met Masa at IVS Crypto, we were like, hey, we're kind of discussing like the different groups that were there. And he said, yes, it's very much kind of like their first year
Well, you
doing
had
crypto.
you had even asked someone if they knew what Ethereum was, and they didn't even know what Ethereum was.
Yes. And so I even asked Masa, because Masa is actually working with a very famous Japanese artist and they're putting out a PFP collection, but it's been being worked on for over a year now because the artist is actually hand drawing everything. It's not generative art.
Yeah,
So
it's like 1,000 hand drawn pieces of art.
and we got some stickers of
Really
it. It's
cool.
really freaking cool. But I asked him,
I
I'm
think
like,
it's
do you think that people here
Fist of Baseball is
Yeah.
what it's called.
um I asked him, do you think the people attending this conference know a lot about NFTs? And he's like, no, I don't think so. So it was interesting because obviously we didn't know what to expect, but it kind of shows it was a great probably start to this conversation,
Yeah.
especially since it was their first year doing IVS crypto.
Well, and Ben had mentioned the other day on the TNS space, the Japanese people are more, I would say, like prone to what is the right word? Like conformity sometimes, like, and not necessarily like jumping over that line. And so doing things like DAOs
Or that are brand new. It's going to take a little bit of time.
yeah, I think that there's like a little bit of a slower roll, but it's interesting because I think the point that we're making is that there's this love of technology.
Yes.
It's literally in the toilets. These toilets have more technology than a Ford Focus. Like, I mean, no shout out Ford Focus. But in all seriousness, I mean, the Japanese people, they make incredible technology. They use incredible technology and they appreciate it. But it does feel like they are baby stepping
Well,
Web3 a little bit.
But different than that, because that's almost like saying that they're baby stepping is saying that all these opportunities have presented themselves to them and they're saying, okay, wait, hold on. I don't even necessarily think opportunities have presented themselves here,
Right.
which brings on the greater conversation of, well, a company or a
Or a
decentralized
DAO.
organization
Yeah.
like Nouns DAO could lead the way
Yes.
in really bringing this type of education about the blockchain and about Ethereum and about DAOs, like to a place that has yet to be introduced to
Well, and
it.
it goes to our conversation yesterday of increasing the support to the sub communities. And by increasing the support to the sub communities, by increasing the attention that's paid to the sub communities, then this will just be one place where it develops. Like if Noun Style Japan or P Nouns, if they took what they're doing and multiplied it by 10, then that's only going to exponentially like grow those audiences. And so it is a really interesting idea of supporting the micro communities within the larger ecosystem so that it can kind of grow naturally. I mean, if we try and grow from the top down as opposed from the bottom up, that the results will look very different. Maybe one is right, one is wrong. Maybe there is not a right or wrong. Maybe they're just different. It won't be black and white. It'll obviously have to be some type of combination of that. But yeah, like supporting the communities on the ground, I feel, and I think you would probably agree, is more of a organic strategy than like doing it the other way around. And so, yes, Japan will be one of these places to watch,
Well, and like there was going to be a talk that Masa's boss was doing on like an NFT PFP collection. Like, I still think that the PFP collection idea is still a new idea being introduced. And so we've all been through that phase and we still participate in those things too. But it is going to take some time and some education for that. There is an event tomorrow. Let me just get, right now, actually, there's NFT Osaka happening in Osaka, Japan. We are there a day late, so we didn't get to go, but it's a single day event. Again, great sign for NFTs because like they're starting the process, but they haven't yet reached this NFT NYC thing. Like it's not a 3 to 4 day event yet. It's going to be that single day event. And then what we're going to, let me just find this thing really quick. Susie, who, if you have been following my Twitter, she was the awesome girl. It says Susie Wang on her name tag. She was wearing the blue Noggle. She had like her little finger gun doing it. She looks amazing. She actually got to talk to Vitalik during ETH Waterloo. She's the one who invited me to this event, which she's helping co-host. And this event is called Tomo Night NFT collection in Osaka. So it's one NFT collection that's throwing this event. It's going to be tomorrow. So we do head into Osaka tomorrow just in time to make this event. But what they're kind of focusing on is this sort of event fun style. There's like live music that's happening. Some of the sponsors are like NFT music artists. So there's like Web3 artist whole vibe there too. So that's a great sign. And then of course, once we go to Tokyo, there's other things happening there. But if anyone's watching and is in Japan or in Osaka tomorrow, she has given me 5 to 10 free Nouns tickets. And I think everyone that comes gets these free headphones that she was talking about, which I would love to know more about. But let me see what she said about them specifically. She says, offer 10 Genesis NFT headphones. Oh, so it's an NFT. I think the headphones are the NFT. And they come to anyone who's there. They are on Matic, Polygon. Oh, that is the other thing to be very mindful of. So there are a lot of regulations in Japan, and I believe that they don't have like this large array of coins and blockchains and stuff like we all have access to. Maso is basically saying it's Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean,
and a few others.
I think perhaps I was a little, in the United States, like on Coinbase or whatnot, for example, like yes, there's quite a few coins, but even still within that, it's not like CoinGecko where where you're seeing all of every coin, or Dex tools where you're seeing like every coin under the sun, so yes, there is that, but like I do think that like true degens know that like those coins, they don't really live on centralized exchanges. They are more like decentrally traded, as they should be. And that is interesting. I mean, I think Matic it's interesting how Polygon is making its way. Probably from like a cost solution standpoint. I don't feel like decentralization is as big of the goal here. I think it's more like user functionality, and I think that you'll see a lot of that in like the gaming environment and things
that's
like
the thing too.
upgradable in NFTs, and like being able to add like have an avatar and add a sword and add a shield and add a gun.
Well, then Japan could be the ones leading the way in gaming, because I don't know if you heard about that new the video game, that had the Goblin Town feature in it. It's called like Going Up or something. Wait, hold on. Oh my God, I'm so bad that I don't know what the name of this thing is.
Goblins. When's the next Goblin Town party? God, that was a crazy good time.
1 second. I really want to tell you what the name of this game is. Everyone watching knows what this is. Oh, here we go. Only Up. Did you hear about this game? Only Up?
I'm sorry, I have not.
It's like a different type of like Fortnite style game, but it's called Only Up. And then in it, like there's spray paints on the walls of the games for Goblin Town.
Oh, wow.
And they kind of just like added that, and people didn't really know, but it was like major cool thing. And so people were playing this game. It's now been taken down, unfortunately. And then people were kind of complaining in the game that they didn't want to be like shilled NFTs. And
the game itself has been taken down?
Yes, from Steam right now because of other reasons. They said that they're stolen assets. But that aside, the reaction from the video game community once they saw that Goblin Town was like an NFT company was not a positive one. Whereas here in Japan, like the more NFT geared focused things we did see at IBS Crypto were gaming, was avatars. It was being able to stream as your own cool avatar. Like, I feel like the gaming community here is going to be probably the thing that breaks out.
I think it's so shocking for me that the gamers are so anti NFT. I mean, it's such a direct connection. There's such an opportunity to take games to another level, and gamers
Hmm.
have been just raked by these companies for like 20 years and got nothing for it, and it just doesn't make a bit of sense that they're like anti NFT. But we'll have to get some gamers on here and ask why that is.
Well, and that's why what Nouns Esports doing is incredible.
Yeah.
Congrats, big huge congrats to Nouns Esports.
Yeah, they're on the beach in Bali celebrating.
Yeah, getting through the majors and hopefully going to the finals.
Sorry, I just that button looked tasty.
Going through
right
the
there.
finals. But they're really showing too that they're incorporating, like, they're sponsored by a DAO, but they're not necessarily stating that, and so they're building this huge fan base who are going to essentially get to learn that through them.
Hmm.
But it's not like this NFT led thing; they just are associated with that. So
I don't know. I don't get it.
It's through sponsorship. So I think that that's incredible, and that's how it's going to have to probably be done through like a sponsorship style association.
Well, the example that you chose with Only Up, right? And so, like, if it got like DC made and got taken down, for having copyright assets, you know, that's kind of a separate issue. But it that speaks volumes for Nouns, in the CC0 elements. So they should have just used Noggles instead.
Should have used Noggles. I don't think that the NFT stuff was the stolen assets. I think it was other things. But that aside, I do agree that the gaming community, it is a perfect correlation, especially with ownership of items and outfits and unlocking certain levels and things. Like, it just makes sense. I haven't been gaming for quite a long time, but I love video games, and I understand like how that world could just grow from that. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but maybe it's going to take someone like Japan to kind of show us the way in that game, in the game of games, in the game of NFT games. And like, I think it doesn't even need to be an NFT game, but it should be like ownership of items and things that you get within the game, like on some type of blockchain. That's like how I'm seeing things go down.
It's already happening.
I do commend them for having in Kyoto, like the very first ever crypto thing here for IBS. I think that that is going to be probably one of the bonuses, as much as it's going to be a learning phase for everybody, to get through to get past marketing and to start getting into like different companies and NFT artists and things that are happening and things that you could do on the blockchain. I do think it's a great, big, huge right first step to be taking. And maybe the right first step is through a company that's already been known to be throwing like the largest events in Asia.
I think we're going to see the NFT industry and crypto industry move very quickly now that different protocols are being developed and different solutions are being created for decentralized identity and verifiable credentials. I think that within that concept, it will be it will have nothing to do with video games. It will have nothing to do with social media apps and PFPs. It will literally be your driver's license, your mortgage, your birth certificate, your death certificate, your marriage certificate. It will be emails, text messages, like
That's what I've been telling people too. Like, I feel like people, the way of the future is like that you're going to already be associating yourself with a blockchain without even knowing about it.
right. And then I think that's the watershed moment that'll happen with governments and with regulation and these things. And of course, it'll be a back and forth, and it will take time and all of that. But there are a lot of people working on it right now. There are some people that are heavily funded to work on it. And they will come up with solutions. And, a lot of those solutions will be first attempt solutions, but they will continue to develop and get better and better. And I just think that that's going to be the thing that really sets it apart. I also think like fidgetals, like clothing or, a nice kitchen knife or you know a a backpack. I mean,
Mm.
we were at in Brazil. They had that little like exhibition gallery. They had Shaquille O'Neal's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? And they had
Mm-hmm.
been like tokenized.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. They had like other sports memorabilia and stuff that was there that had been tokenized. But yeah, like the second that you can, buy Taylor Swift's outfit from this concert and it'll
Mm-hmm.
be via an NFT auction or something like this,
Oh
like
yeah.
these will be the things that actually onboard and
Mm-hmm.
actually like create this fervor around the new technology and this digital ownership. And I think that Nouns will be doing its thing and in its world, you know but like, if I'm just going to be completely honest, like, do I think that Nouns is going to be the thing that's going to bring everyone to crypto? I don't. Like,
Well, it's a thing.
it'll be one thing.
Of
Like,
course. And then like look at, like there's only so many holders and there's only so many people working with the nouns right now too. But I still come across on my
it's gonna take
timeline
years.
a lot of different communities that I think are doing great things. And so it's gonna take not only years, but it's gonna take tons of different communities, lots of different DAOs, tons of different people who are leading the way,
Well, and it's
tons
gonna
of
take
different
loud
programmers
voices,
from
like Elon and Bezos. And I saw this thing on online today where they were interviewing Tim Cook at Apple, and they said, do you hold Bitcoin and Ethereum? And he outwardly admitted that he owns Bitcoin and Ethereum, and he's held
mm,
them for years, and
yep.
he believes the technology is interesting. So,
Mm-hmm.
if the CEO of Apple thinks that Ethereum and Bitcoin are interesting, like, that's incredible. That is that's like them saying 5 years ago that they think AR and VR is, hey, yeah, dude, that's pretty cool. And now we're gonna have like headsets, and so you know, it just there's like a time curve always to technology, and I think that we are, yeah, just so early and so in it, and touch it and feel it and hear about it every day that it just kind of melts our brain to say, oh, like, what's going on here? Why is there not a deeper understanding? Like, but we have to be compassionate to just the history of the world and the history of human beings and the history of communities and society and culture and governments, and
Of course.
it,
And I
it
think
just
like
takes a while.
it's going to be a little bit different as well when we go to Tokyo. And just
Yeah.
the same way that in the US, things are happening in New York that aren't necessarily happening in Kentucky or Alabama,
Yeah.
like in a farmer's town.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's going to be the same way. And not that Kyoto's a farmer's town, Kyoto is like massive. And we actually went over on the other side of Duck River. So we're actually, Duck River kind of like comes down like on this like 1/3
Love Duck
line
River.
part of Kyoto. And so on the right side where we are staying in this like older part of the town is like really close to all of the mountains, which is where all of the temples are. Like we just take an Uber up to the conference, and like as you're going up the Uber, you look up a side street and there's a massive, beautiful, gorgeous temple. So we're
Gorgeous.
near all that. But on the other side of Duck River, which we went to yesterday to the electronics store to get this like little converter, it's much more of like a city style thing, and there are like Buddhist temples there, but that's where the Kyoto Tower is, and there's a lot more like corporate buildings, hotels, like tour groups coming out of hotels, and it's a little bit different than the right side of Duck River. And so, you know, there's there's so I'm excited that it was their first year, and I feel excited that we got to attend the first ever IBS crypto. I
Mm.
think that's an incredible thing to see. Um, all of these events that we go to are so different from each other, and the coolest part about them is that there's going to be a person there that kind of like knows about crypto or NFTs or Ethereum at every single one of them too. So we are always encouraging people to learn more, to reach out to us. We're connecting to people all the time, and like to be honest, like when those girls came out to us and showed us the picture of themselves in the Big Shot Clim toy glasses, Noggles from last year, that was just always that was confirmation for me. Like, people love the Noggles. People do know about nouns, whether or not they know that they know about nouns. And I think that it kind of just shows that the DAO is moving in a great direction, and that all of the efforts and proliferation efforts specifically that have happened thus far over the last almost 2 years. We're coming up on the Nouns' second birthday, have been good for the DAO as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the proliferation is going great, and I we talked about a lot yesterday. Like, it's very important that the technology continues to be funded and happen. But, if we just build technology for technology's sake and we just talk about our great technology to each other, then like no one's going to find the doubt. No one's going to learn that this thing is happening. Like,
Well, and if we don't go out to these events for the first time, if we don't travel to
Right.
countries we've never been to, and obviously we have a very unique situation. We did talk about this a little bit at length yesterday on the podcast. Cheffo and I are fortunate enough to be partners in life, like partners in business, partners within the Nouns Tao together. We have sacrificed normalcies of life to be on the road doing this. Of course, it's not normal to expect any random person to be like, oh, well, just go to a country you've never been to. Like, of course, we know that. But because of this opportunity, we have seen that it's going to be those moves like that, trying to make the world feel a little more smaller, like, like connecting everybody. Because now that we've connected with people and met them in real life, like now when we go back home and stop this tour at, towards the end of the year, we will have these connections with people from around the world, and we can continue the educational conversations. We can continue doing the live stream and having people join and new people join. And I do just want to point out, I'm so excited. Yesterday we had 180 subscribers on YouTube, and today before we started the stream, we had 183. I'm so excited.
I love that.
Thank you guys so much for subscribing. The best thing you could do is subscribe to the YouTube, because that way you get notified every single time we go live. We are usually live Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Sometimes if we are at an event and we are unable to go live, so that we can like actually attend the event, those will be like the singular times that we don't do that. Or you'll notice like at ETH Waterloo, instead of going live for 3 days, we just went live for 2 days of the entire event. And then like we're there for 4.5 to 5 hours. So it does kind of switch. And so that's why it's so important to subscribe, so you guys get notified every time we're live. And I've been like preaching that. And it's so funny because at ETH Waterloo, I sat down and started the live for the first time. And Andrea ran up to me and she's like, oh my God, are you live? I just got notified on my phone.
I love that.
So it's so meaningful for you guys to be hanging out here. And then I'm doing some work in the background to make it easy for you guys to digest certain topics of conversation, watch specific interviews, or hear certain tidbits of these lives, because I know some people can't necessarily sit down for 2 hours and just listen to us talk about all the things that we're talking about. And there's some great, great, great things that I think are getting lost in there in these like big 2 to 3 hour videos. So it's my goal for this channel to be building our shorter form content for you guys, to be able to highlight different things that we talk about and topics and people, places, and things, of course, so that we could make sure you don't have the sound on that.
I don't have sound on.
Because it's a secret what we're doing over there on Cheffo's computer. We are actually just finished rendering for probably the 5th time our first kind of OTG short. Like we did do Turning the TV Corner, which was a little 8-minute video about the Rose Parade and kind of leading up to the Rose Parade and what happened. But we have our first OTG short that we will be getting ready and putting out probably this week. We're just going to add some Portuguese translations through the help of JP, hopefully, because there is like times where you hear Portuguese only being spoken here. So we want to make sure everyone knows what's being said. But it is like a 15-minute video about one of our proliferation experiences in Rio de Janeiro. And that's with artist Josue, who is prolific in Nouns as being a person putting Noggles all over Rio. So we were able to paint a mural with him. And through this OTG short, we take you guys on that journey with us and what that was like. We each got to like touch this mural. We were painting it ourselves. There's a beautiful story. That's what I'm saying. There's a beautiful story. There's these little interactions with people from the community. I really think it's a special showcase of what it feels like to participate in these Nounish proliferation efforts. And it's a great way to highlight people who are working for and with Nouns in their daily lives. And so I'm so excited to get this out. I'm looking at it now. It looks beautiful. I don't want to get distracted though while
I
we
know,
are still live.
I know.
But it looks like it rendered well, and the color looks amazing. The sound is good. We have been editing at this the entire time we've been here in Kyoto, and prior to that, that's another thing that we have just been doing nonstop. So every time you guys don't see us live here on the podcast or don't see us at an event, we are probably most likely editing together. We direct, co-produce, co-edit, and co-live stream all of our stuff. So
Aubtoshi's a tough boss.
we're
folks.
multi-talented over here. No, but truly, we know how important it is to get content out. And although there are great content creators within Nouns and great animators and great videos that highlight these people in these really great, amazing educational ways, we really want to bring forward these real, raw stories to make you feel like you were kind of there while this mural was being painted, just as an example. So our
We
first
have
OTG
an
short.
audience question there. You should answer it.
Oh, let's see. Krishna, hi. Are you sponsored by Nouns DAO, and how do you do that? Yes, we are sponsored by Nouns DAO. This is Nouns on the Air. I have a proposal. So let me actually just pull up the website for you. This is such a great thing that we could do. This is the Nouns website. You can learn more at nouns.wtf. I will type that URL here in the chat as soon as I'm done with this website. This is a DAO. It's a decentralized autonomous organization, and they have one NFT that they sell every single day. And you could see right now, Nouns 763 is just up for auction. The last auction just ended with a winning bid of 30.60 ETH. As soon as that auction ended, it went right into the DAO treasury. And so we click here on DAO through this menu button, and you can see that the DAO itself has 28,799 Ethereum in it currently now.
I'll put the link.
Can you pass me the computer charger?
Got you.
Thank you.
Y'all, I'll put the link. Give me 1 second.
No problem. Oh my God. Come on, buddy. Oh, here we go. Okay, so which is sitting at about 55.23 million US dollars right now, which is incredible because that money is being put towards supporting artists and creative projects. And so I am one of those people. There's currently 323 proposals that have been up. If you would like to access the funds from this treasury, you do have to put in an on-chain proposal, or you can participate in smaller funding rounds through Prop House, and that's prop.house if you wanted to pop that link in there as well.
You can also get a sponsor to do an on-chain proposal.
Well, yes, I was going to get into that too. So you do need 2 nouns right now to put a proposal on chain, but you don't have to necessarily own those 2 nouns. Someone who does own 2 nouns could sponsor you if they like your idea. Let me just scroll down really fast and just make you a little bit dizzy here. And I'm going to go to Prop 206. So Prop 206 is my most recent proposal that passed around the end of January at the beginning of this year. That was for Nouns on the Ground 2023. That's why you're here watching this show on OTG on the ground. That is this vibe and this sort of like, I guess I would call it like this like company and project that we've created through Nouns and that they helped fund and get off the ground. They helped get on the ground, off the ground. I can't believe I've never said that before.
Wow.
So amazing. Okay. It passed. People who are holders of Nouns vote on these props. You can see that I have 196 votes for, and I had 72 votes against and 0 abstain votes. And so anyone who holds a noun, as soon as this prop went live, they have an opportunity to vote on this proposal. It did pass. And part of that proposal was me taking Nouns and going to all these events this year. I have 18 events on this calendar. It's probably going to end up being around 22 events by the time we finish. We have added a few events, but we've really stuck to this list, except for in the end of June, that NFT Toronto purple one that you're seeing, that ended up being ETH Global Waterloo. So everything has been just exactly as we said, except for that one event. And we've added a few more events as well, because we've just had this amazing opportunity as we are live and going out there with people to understand new events that we didn't quite know about and how we could interface with them. And then Nouns on the Air was also a part of this proposal, which is bringing this live stream to you guys 3 times a week, highlighting people, places, and things. We are continually crafting this live show. Sometimes, like for the first time at ETH Global Waterloo, we actually went live at the event itself. And so we were just live streaming and different people kept sitting down with us and we were interviewing the different hackers that were there, the projects, the different Nounish people. And it was a really, really incredible experience. And I'm also going to just type to you, this is my website. But if you subscribe to us on YouTube, you will always see us going live. So every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we go live. We talk about nouns things. We talk about other NFT projects. We talk about events because, like, as we're at these events, not only are there nouns people, there's tons of different people. And so, what we've really ended up being able to talk about a lot is just this entire big idea of the culture and community that are making up Web3 right now as a whole. And we kind of really get this on the ground look at these things because we do get to travel around and go to these different events. And so those events can include NFT conferences or events, they can include hackathons, but they also, I was really sure to put on my proposal social events that have absolutely nothing to do with NFTs, such as film festivals. Burning Man is the next big event we have coming up. And because I know that outside of NFTs and all of us being connected through Web3, we all are just our own people that have our own hobbies. And so you got to go to where people are gathering and like the most popular events in the world because you are still going to find people who understand Web3 and understand NFTs. So I really appreciate you asking that question. We really try to really explain things like from the ground up here. If you ever have questions, we interact with people live and please reach out to us. On my site, there's also like all of our social medias. And so you can go ahead and follow. I'm most active on Twitter. That's like my favorite social media, but I'm trying to grow my Instagram as well too. Oh, you've been tuning in for 2 days. Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Okay, so if you were tuning in yesterday, you would have heard us talking about subcommunities a bunch. So subcommunities.
Yeah, find a couple and join them.
Yes, subcommunities are a great place to start with nouns, especially if you're not in a position where you're purchasing a noun right away, or maybe you're not ready for an on-chain proposal. A great place would be to start in a subcommunity such as food nouns or Nouns DAO Amigos. I'm not sure
NARS.
what part of the world you're in. NARS DAO,
Brazil,
Nouns DAO Brazil,
Africa, Japan,
whatever part of the
China.
world you're in. There's some probably nounish group that has a sub community, which essentially means that they've used the same structure as Nouns DAO with the auctions, but applied it to their own community. And so the auction prices, as you'll see, like let's actually just pull up. I'm just gonna pull up a food nouns. Is there an auction going right now?
I'm not sure if the last person settled it.
So here is food nouns, for example. Okay.
Yeah, looks
Oh, nice. So the last food noun just went for 0.02 ETH. So 2.665 ETH sitting in that treasury. It's just a great example that there are these like smaller entry points into these communities. And then those communities are also doing things like the on-chain proposal system. It's a great place to learn. Did you put the prop house link? Here's another
No, I'm
link.
sorry, I did
I'm just
not.
giving you all of the info today. Hold on. Here is the prop house link. This is actually how I personally, both Cheffo and I, got started in nouns. Let me just drop this in the chat here. Prop.house. Prop.house, you do not need a noun to propose. If you click on any of those houses, you'll see if a community has an open round open, you'll see like a little green button that says proposing period. If you see a community that you like or vibe with, I would always check back in with the nouns one, of course. Food Nouns always throws prop houses. This is actually Cheffo is like one of the founders of Food Nouns, so that's why we're always referencing Food Nouns. But
I'll have to wear my little chef hat one time.
yes, if you go to prop.house and find an open round that you like, they do prizes that are like 0.25 ETH. Maybe they do an ETH. Maybe a community such as Nouns DAO Amigos will be offering a token to enter their community. There's a lot of different things going on there, but it's a great way to start understanding the proposal process because you can put in a prop and all you need is a wallet address to do so. So the other great thing you're doing is actually watching us here because if you go back in the chat, there's a lot of really brilliant nounish people in here, such as Ben Body, such as the nounish professor, such as Steven Simons, who's also Symbiotex, such as Ian Wiley, who's heavily involved in food nouns. These are great individuals who are actually here tuning into the live stream and people that I talk to daily, basically. And so thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. It shows us that this is like what we love doing. We love talking to people about nouns and we love onboarding people not only into this community, but into Web3 in general. So you always have a place with us here and feel free to ask questions if you like, but it is wonderful to have you here. We are probably closing out soon here. We will be live again tomorrow at a different time. So we are going to be going in a little bit earlier. So I don't know if that's going to be like evening time for you guys or what's going on. We'll probably get our friends who are asleep right now, which is amazing, but we're going to go in early.
I've been waking up early over here,
yeah.
boy. I was up at 4:30 this morning, I think. Love it.
Let me see what time that would be. I couldn't even do that right now.
Yeah, don't.
If we're going to be earlier, probably I would say maybe half a day from now, we are going to be doing our last live stream for the week before we pack up and head to Osaka. There is a Web3 event happening there tomorrow evening. So maybe we're going to get some like live stuff. But if you follow my other accounts, like TikTok and Instagram, probably Instagram and Twitter, like those are the ones I'm really active on. You'll be able to see more of like live, like in the moment kind of videos or photos that I post from these other events when we're not live streaming. So awesome to have you here.
Maybe we'll have some of our Japanese friends on as guests.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Next week.
We are starting to implement guests. JP from Nouns in Rio and Nouns BR, which is the Brazilian community involved within Nouns, was our very first guest about 2 weeks ago. He got to talk to us about how it was like being down in Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro at the NFT Brazil conference. So we really have these on the ground, like firsthand looks and insight into all these different conferences that are happening around the world. And what I think you'll find, which is what we found together by attending these things, is that we have so much in common, you guys, that us being able to sit here on a stream and talk about these things is so important. And you guys hearing about these other events is important. And just as much as you hear about events that we go to, we want to hear about events that you go to and people that you like. So I always kind of like shout out and do like tweets of like, tell me about your projects and stuff. Like, please participate in those so we understand who you are and what you got going on in Web3. And of course, GM to Malcolm's World and to FTV. Awesome to have you here. I haven't seen your username here yet. It's awesome to see you.
I love that.
I love that you guys are here and active here on the YouTube. This also goes live on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and on Twitch. I got to figure out Twitch. Someone who is good at Twitch, please help me out. But we go live on all of these platforms to make sure that whatever platform you kind of are most comfortable with, you're able to get this information and stuff too. And as I stated a little bit earlier, I will be working my little butt off as we travel around to provide clips from these things, because I know not necessarily everybody can sit down for like a 2 to 3 hour video, but getting those like short 30-minute, 1-minute clips about these key things we've been talking about is so important. And I understand that.
You said a short 30-minute clip.
Oh, 30 seconds. I'm so sorry. That short 30-minute clip. I won't do that to you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome to see you here, Malcolm's World. Another great person who has been a part of the Nouns community for quite a while now. If you guys continue to hang out with us, you'll be just getting all these new amazing people in your network. It's the best place to be, and Nouns makes it so easy for us to talk about Web3 in general because they are really leaders in this industry. They're leaders in DAOs. They are leaders in the way that they run the DAO. They're leaders in the way that their Solidity contracts work on the Ethereum blockchain. They are leaders with the founders and how they operate. And I just really am honored and pleased that we get to kind of have this platform as a sponsorship through Nouns too. So they're obviously leaders in how they sponsor projects and people. And it's our pleasure to be here on the live stream and being able to provide that for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's all very interesting. It's there's a lot going on. There's only going to be more going on. It is a DAO, and so, you know, there's a big difference of opinions across the board. I think that's true on like a generalized level. It's true on a prop by prop level. You know, I'm reading through some of the props now.
Mm-hmm.
One of our friends, I don't know if he's going to make it on his game publishing. So that's,
we'll see. There's still a few days left on that as well.
That's kind of a bummer. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. You know, it's Web3. It's this new world, and you have to be brave. And, you know, it just, there's a lot. And I think that like one of our roles is to just kind of humanize it and to say, hey, you know, we don't have all the answers. We may not see every last thing that's happening, you know, but like we do see quite a bit of it. And, you know, we do get to hear personal perspectives and unique stories and get to share those in in ways. And I do think that we'll continue to develop the different voices and create correspondence and create ways to make the experience with OTG even more rich and vibrant. And I'm excited to do that. I think that's a challenge, and I think that it will really like add to the ecosystem. And I think that we have a good approach to that. So I'm excited, and I think this week has been important to really understand. I mean, we've seen things all around the world now, and coming here is another just piece of that puzzle, and trying to figure out like the different ways that it's all happening. I wish that like I wish some of these noun holders were traveling around with us and doing that as well. I think that maybe some of their perspectives would change, but
Well, it's so good, but that's why we really have dedicated our life, sort of essentially, and our time to being like the mouthpiece for what we are witnessing out there in the world in general, and then in nouns, because it's really important. There are so many things and projects happening at one time. It can be hard to learn about all of them. We try to cover as much as possible here, but I think those little clips from these different things are going to really, really matter. And I think that the live stream has been a place where we can all gather together and learn a little bit more about maybe a person that we've never met before, or a project that we're just hearing about, or
a protocol,
proposal. Yes.
or an event, or
Person, project, protocol. They
what
don't
was,
all start with P's, but
what was the
most
other
of them
thing
do.
I said the other day? Like people, places, and
Birds.
birds.
Because I've been getting into bird photography, but that is a story for a different time. Mikey, aloha to you. Thank you for joining. We're probably just closing up here. This was a fantastic episode. If you're just joining us, Mikey, I would kind of watch back if you're interested at all in Japan and IVS Crypto, which was the main event that we came here to this country to go
Kyoto.
to in Kyoto, Japan. We are having one event that we're going to tomorrow. We'll talk about it a little bit more on tomorrow's pod. And then next week, we will be coming to you guys live from Tokyo. So taking a little bit of a trip from
You know what
Kyoto
I'm
to
excited
Tokyo.
about?
What are you excited about?
There's supposedly a whole street in Tokyo where it's like all chef knives.
Oh, wow.
Like
It sounds like something Cheffo would be
store
excited
after
about.
store after store of chef knives.
That is so cool.
And they even, some of them have like vegetables available where you can like cut the vegetable to like see how it feels.
Cheffo is actually a chef. That's where he got his name from. And I would imagine that you're pretty excited about that. I need to get a kimono is all I know. And I need to walk around in it. I'm really excited about that. What we'll probably do for the end of today, it's our last evening here in Kyoto. I'm dying to kind of go back to one of these temples that we had gone to. It was just freaking gorgeous, but it was like a massive ground, and we wanted to make the Nouns Running Club, another great project happening through Nouns right now where people gather and run together in the morning. So we kind of had to leave early. So I'd love to get some last minute photos in there. And again, we will be having a podcast live probably in about 14 hours from now to close out Kyoto and get ready to pack up and go to Osaka. So if you guys are around in a little bit after you get your amazing night's rest, we would love to see you guys back here tomorrow. And then we'll be live next week from Tokyo, Japan. So we're really excited. It was awesome to have so many fun people in here, so many new people, so many people who are not new to me, but who I don't necessarily see in lives all the time. Thank you, Prof, and thank you, Ben. That was so awesome to see you guys and to talk about things, to talk about the awesome giant Noggles that are happening right now at the ski resort. What an incredible episode. Thank you guys for all checking in. Cheffo, did you have any final words kind of as we wrap up here?
No.
That was all of your words.
Cheffo has said enough.
Cheffo said enough. I will just shout out for one last time for the day.
Ooh.
7-Eleven Japan
We should get a 7-Eleven sponsorship.
has it figured out. We should.
God,
that makes so much
would
sense.
be
They have so many different things.
Epic, dude.
The snacks at the 7-Eleven Japan, I cannot even tell you guys how amazing they are. Maybe I'll try to get a couple more to show you guys on the pod tomorrow.
They even have these little like cups like that. They're like cups of ice, and it's just like,
for you to get the iced coffee.
Yeah, it says like coffee, and you're like looking at it, and
Oh
you're
my
like,
God,
wait a
it's so
second, there's
good.
no coffee in there. But you buy the cup of ice, and then you go to the.
Oh my
coffee
God, you
machine.
know what a great use case for any like type of blockchain technology or NFTs would be is for 7-Eleven to do like a rewards program.
You're
That is a
Starbucks.
story for a different time.
Starbucks is already doing stuff like this. I
Mm.
think NFT reward loyalty programs will be one of these things that we were talking about that will like really, really, really onboard millions of people. Millions of people will be onboarded through loyalty programs.
That's kind of like,
Absolutely.
oh, excuse me, like what we were talking about with the mass onboarding is going to happen when people are participating in these things without necessarily knowing about it.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to talk to someone about what DAOs are and the blockchain and Ethereum and stuff too, like it's gonna be a little scary. But if you could just get them to swipe a rewards card and they're just participating,
Right, like
without knowing.
when you give someone a debit card or a credit card and they swipe it, like they're not understanding like, okay, this payment system is going through
Yeah,
this
this bank's talking
banking
to this
system
bank.
into that thing, into this server. Like that's not what we expect of people now.
mm-hmm.
Like why would we expect that of them in crypto? So yes, I do think that we'll see a lot more just I don't know. It'll feel more just like magic, you know, than it does now. Now it's like
The magic thing that just
Work.
works. Yes. Oh, jinx.
don't
Wow.
don't
a lot
ever,
to think about.
Don't ever do
A
that.
lot to think about, you guys, with NFTs. This is Nouns on the Air, live with Aubtoshi and Cheffo. We are here every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Make sure you're subscribed so you get notified every time we are live. I do my little fake clapping every time because until we get like a studio of real people clapping, that's all we got. Thank you guys for the new people joining us. We will see you tomorrow. Be subscribed so you can get notified. And until that point in time, it was awesome seeing you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.
See ya.